Paper wedding dress. Zang Ling. No, it's a funeral bell. Introduction. What is Zang Ling? Laozi's is a hidden bell. Don't get involved in counterfeit and inferior products. Is that what you call 6 burials? I don't even give face to the treasure trove. With the sound of the funeral bell, the cycle opens up. 6 paths hold my hand, reincarnation returns to the earth. The underworld returns to the underworld, and all sentient beings use it for me. The ghost of Yin Cao appears, and I am the palm of Yin Si.Everything returns to the countryside, only mastering the transformation of heaven and earth. Remember, my name is Li LuntianNo number 1209 Funeral Bell System. Without me, you're nothing. I need to go back. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Where the hell is this? Where is the new villa I bought? Why did it disappear when I woke up? Oh my goodness. Cough cough. What's wrong? Cough cough, cough cough cough. The door was pushed open, and an old man came in, hunched and with only a few gray short hair left. Li LuntianNo personally feels somewhat familiar. It's okay, Lao Zhang. You sleep with me, don't worry, I'll see you off. How many times do you come a day? Li LuntianNo said in a conscious tone. That's all right, oh, cough 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 cough, that's all right, cough 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 cough, by the way, Xiaoning is really not a good person. When I rented here, cough 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 cough, he said it well. As soon as I got rich, he moved out. Cough 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 cough, Lao Zhang said as he coughed. Li LuntianNo subconsciously said, why do you talk about Zifu? He didn't say he wouldn't give it to you, it's just your brainless thoughts. Why not, cough 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 cough, don't give it to me. What else would you give it to me if I bought the house on the top floor? Oh cough cough cough, I won't tell you, I'll go to bed. Cough cough cough. Old Zhang turned around and went back to the house, coughing as he walked. Li LuntianNo finally woke up and said to himself, what am I talking about? How come it's a farewell ceremony and a Zifu ceremony? I haven't even given it to my parents, so why did you give it to me? Thinking of this, my head suddenly shook, and a large number of fragments of novels I had read flashed by. Then Li LuntianNo was even more shocked. I whispered, I'm going through this. Well, it's really his mother fart. Who wants to go through this? I've lost my big villa, my retirement life. That's right, Li LuntianNo was originally a small employee, plain and indifferent. His only hobby was lying down, and his only dream was to have enough money to buy a small courtyard and lie down every day. Perhaps the heavens also like to lie down, so Li LuntianNo just completed his dream after working for 3 years. That's right, he found a lottery ticket and won 5 million yuan. Then, just after buying a house, saving money and preparing to live a life of pension with interest, I woke up and walked through his mother. Li LuntianNo yelled in his heart, his mother. I want to go back. The single was repeated dozens of times, and then he lay on the bed, eyes numb, tired, over. Not to mention, this bed is quite comfortable. After lying like this for more than 10 minutes, finally. Fell asleep. I slept like this for a long time before waking up. I yawned and looked out the window. It was already noon, but it was a bit strange. When I fell asleep, the sun should have set. Forget it, let's not think about it anymore. How can we love each other? Li LuntianNo thought so. Then I saw several boxes of self-heating hot pot and a few bottles of mineral water on the table at the foot of the bed, and I swallowed my saliva. With a goo sound, Li LuntianNo suddenly remembered that he hadn't eaten yet. It took him half an hour to finish the food, not to mention, it was quite delicious. I just officially looked around the room. The room is very tidy, with only the garbage produced earlier. The bed should be solid and comfortable anyway. There is a cabinet by the door, and when you open it, there are only 3 sets of black clothes, including underwear, shoes, and socks. They fall very neatly. There is a window facing the door, no curtains, and it should be in the south. Otherwise, the sun cannot be seen, and it is cleaned very clean. So the head of the bed should be on the east side, without a bedside table. There are 2 small night lights on each side, and there are 2 switches on the side of the cabinet, one for the big light on the head and the other for those 2 night lights. To the west by the window is a chair, a wooden table, without drawers. On top of the table is a stack of A4 paper from left to right, with a fountain pen that absorbs water, a bottle of ink, and a bank card. In one step, there is a phone, a computer screen, a computer host, and a slot. In front of the computer is the garbage. There is a slot next to the table, a garbage bin, and I don't know how many bags are placed on it. Anyway, there is no garbage. There are 5 boxes of water and 3 boxes of self-heating food next to it. It can be seen that the original owner was a tidy otaku, and his wealth was free. Probably, looking at myself again, there is no difference from before, and I should also be a lying flat guy. Thinking of this, Li Luntian felt somewhat relieved. At least he had the original owner's experience of lying flat, and there was nothing unusual about Li Luntian continuing to lie down. That's it. Where is the original owner's memory? Without it, how can I communicate? Why don't we go to a mental hospital to see? Li Luntian murmured softly. And what about the necessary systems for travelers? This needs to. The host has reached a system agreement and is loading the burial bell system by saying, speak the system word, 3%, 9%, 90%, 91%, 92%, 93%, 95%, 97%, 99%, 100%, the funeral bell system has been loaded. Welcome to the host's use. This system is produced by Tianburi System Company, Ltd. The series is the 10,000 burial series, ranking 10th. This series has a total of 3695366 categories of systems. Serving you is funeral bell system number 1209. Thank you for your use. To avoid any unnecessary trouble, please give a positive review. Every 30 days a semi-transparent panel appeared in front of Li Luntian, and for some reason, the sections rolled quickly, finishing in less than half a minute. Saw Z. What's going on? Li Luntian whispered in surprise. After all, he was afraid that Lao Zhang would come again. After observing the room, Li Luntian finally officially mastered this body. At least Li Luntian felt that he was not affected by the original owner's muscle memory, probably. Li Luntian was startled for a while before finally calming down. He remembered the novel he had read a few days ago, Should I Use a Past Life Now? So he called out in his mind, System. I am here, just stay. Li Luntian muttered in his mind, and then, his mother, it was you who brought me here, right? Send it back to me, hurry up, I want to go back. Sigma. Don't you want to experience a new and exciting extraordinary life? Aren't you tired of the monotonous and tasteless life you had before? This world, I don't want to. I need to go back. Hurry up. Li Luntian replied with his mind as he lay back. By the way, this system can actually make a sound. That's right, the last 3 sentences were spoken in my mind through sound, not to mention, they were quite passionate through mechanical sound. Why? Do you have to go back to such a boring life? Don't you think that carefree life is very uncomfortable? I don't think so. I need to go back. Hurry up. After being in a loop and still for half an hour, Li Luntian broke the silence first and said, You don't know how to take me back, can you? Sorry. Yes. What? Didn't you bring me over? Yes, I'm sorry that my negligence caused inconvenience to you and me. On the panel, there appeared a figure of a small person sitting in the corner with legs hugged. Then why can't you take me back? Li Luntian also felt a bit overwhelmed. Sorry, it took a total of 99 Yin and Ming powers to teleport your soul to this world. Now there is only one Yin Ming power left in inventory, which is used to maintain the panels, assuming that the reverse channel may require more, because it used to flow in space, so there's nothing we can do about it. According to the company's database information, this world is scattered with countless undecided Yin and Ming powers, but there are less than 300 main Yin and Ming powers, and the highest one among them is the Bodhisattva with 6 burials. Find the book Garden www.zhaozhuyuan.com to occupy the power of the underworld by 66. Of course, this realm has one main and secondary realm, and its construction costs a total of millions. However, this method can be applied unless you really want to die. Finally, I'm truly sorry, there was an error in the company database. It makes me think that intelligent life in Earth-like worlds likes to travel and stimulate. I apologize for not personally checking your habits if possible. I don't want to use you to complete guidance tasks either. I'm really sorry. After listening to this long passage, Li Luntian completely gave up. Although he felt very familiar with the name 6 burials, he didn't care. Although he felt the blame and criticism brought by the system's apology, he didn't go back. Let's do whatever we love, go to sleep. Anyway, I've been lying in bed long ago, so cover up the blanket. Li Luntian fell asleep again. An old man wearing a blue Taoist robe downstairs muttered in a corner, "Old Zhang isn't so careless. Didn't he hear that he runs to that kid's room 3 times a day? I haven't noticed that kid's dead yet. Did I use the wrong technique? It shouldn't be. He has a heart disease. Forget it, apprentice. The old man's part should be fine. I'll go back first and come back a few nights to see. I hope the old man dies on his own. I'll make that kid dizzy." As he walked outside the community, he walked to the entrance and looked back, the first small district of Fulu City. There's nothing. It's so uncomfortable. I turned around and continued walking. The world and the original owner. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Li Luntian woke up again and it was noon. He turned over and wasn't very hungry after a day, but he was very thirsty. So he got up and opened a bottle of washishi mineral water and drank half a bottle. Stopped, took the bottle and hit it twice. Is it a pirated product? Why is it the same as wahi? System, come out and explain. I'm so annoyed, you're sick. It's so noisy, I haven't woken up yet, hey. I'm telling you, what a system still needs to sleep. What's wrong? The system doesn't need to rest anymore, idiot. Alright, is this a pirated version? No, this is the genuine version. The world is different from the world, both of which belong to the Earth-like small world, but there are still differences. For example, this bottle of water is actually in the Earth-like small world data set, and Daliu, it should be Waha mineral water, and these 2 worlds are the ones you see. For example, the main games you play in the original world are Round Gods, King of Glory, and Terrorists. In fact, most of them are called Genshin Impact, King Glory, and Peace Elite. This world doesn't have these yet. In other worlds, there are also ape demons, the weak eliminated, and the god of war playing with guns. The world is different, and you will encounter more different places in the future. Oh. Li Luntian reacted for a while before replying, by the way, where is the original memory? I read many travel novels that inherit memories. I put it away, do you still want it? It's useless to you, there's so much nonsense. Give it back to me quickly, otherwise I won't be able to live here. And you have a system, why do you remember? I have refined it for you, otherwise you may be devoured by the original owner's memory. Now it seems that this is actually better, kind-hearted like a donkey's liver and lungs. Forget it, here you are. Just as he finished speaking, Li Luntian felt his brain swell. After a moment of confusion, I digested this memory. The original owner, also known as Li Luntian, had no father or mother like Li Luntian and grew up in a welfare institution. However, unlike Li Luntian, the original owner got out of school at the age of 9 and didn't even attend school. Fortunately, he was smart and picked up a few textbooks. He self-taught and learned Chinese characters and the most basic arithmetic. Moreover, luck is good. Although he suffered losses, was hungry, begged, and was fired, he still saved over 1,000,000 yuan at the age of 20. Note that it was 2011, and yes, Li LuntianNo wore it until 2013. The story continues. On the birthday of the year he saved over 1,000,000 yuan, a turning point occurred, and a series of dirty things happened. As a result, the original owner, a sunny, energetic, kind, capable, wealthy, and clean young man, collapsed. He resigned from his last chance in life and also suffered from heart disease. Later, some friends beat up his boss, but he still couldn't walk out. He became a complete otaku, but still had the ability. Through a computer, he invested and used it for over a year, earning over 5,000,000 yuan, and then completely lay flat. Later on, during the Chinese New Year, the landlord, Mr. Zhang, complained that he had no children and felt that his deadline was approaching. He wanted to sell the house at a low price, as long as he could continue to live and give himself a farewell. Therefore, the original owner spent over 500,000 yuan to buy the 4th floor of the first residential area in Fulu City. In fact, the original owner had already bought a house. The main reason for living here was that he didn't want to move, and the location of the house was too remote. After retiring, Mr. Zhang basically had no tenants, and his life had no place to live. Well, the main reason was that he didn't want to move. Afterwards, it was just lying there. I had a heart attack and died in the early hours of the day before yesterday, and I don't know what happened to this memory. I was asleep when I died. As for Ningzifu, it's on the top floor and works nearby. It used to be rented from Mr. Zhang. 10 in the new year, I bought a rooftop house and moved out. Before, I might have said a few words to bid farewell to old Zhang, but after moving out, old Zhang became restless and talked every day. I had a good relationship with the original owner. I heard that I was going to get married in a few days. It was on the 14th of July in the lunar calendar. It was next to the Zhongyuan festival. I don't know how the woman felt about it. That's all. Wait, Ningzifu, the top floor, getting married, the first residential area of Fulu City, July 14th, an elderly man without children, the 4th floor, 2013, and, by the way, the 6th funeral. System, what's wrong with this paper wedding dress thing? Isn't my world a normal world? Isn't that what, an Earth-like world? What kind of thing is this? Don't be quiet. Li LuntianNo almost couldn't help but slip out of his mouth, he has played with this paper wedding dress himself. Not to mention that a person's name is like grass mustard, it's also similar. Although the protagonist did not die, there are ghosts. Moreover, Li LuntianNo surprisingly lived with the core ghost of the plot in Chapter 3 of Paper Wedding Clothes 1, an old man on the 4th floor. Oh my god, Li LuntianNo doesn't remember seeing someone on the 4th floor while playing games. No wonder the original owner died. Come back. Are you mute? I thought you knew it. And even if you said it, it wouldn't work. Anyway, you keep putting on the show. It's quite nice, it's quite comfortable to put it down, and it only takes 3 or 4 days for the plot. If we get through it, it won't be anything for you or me anymore. I believe Director Nya won't care about you, such a little Karami, ah. I'm your mother. This is called an Earth-like world. There are ghosts. Li LuntianNo shouted in his mind. Keep it down, why not? Isn't this Earth? Yes. Li LuntianNo was taken aback by the words. After a while, he felt a bit speechless and his mood calmed down. After thinking for a while, he said, so if I didn't come, my original body would have died. Is that the plot? Yes, and it's okay if you come. You're not important, just finish the plot. So how did the original owner die? Heart disease, but it was only caused by surgery, so who did it? Li Luantian felt a little chilly, remembering that it was already autumn and he was completely naked. He got up and took out a set of autumn clothes from the cabinet. Yes, there were 3 sets of clothes for spring, summer, autumn, and winter, but they were not divided, so it was said to be 3 sets of clothes. Have you played that game before? It's Director Nye's master. That mother.in.law. Isn't she good? Have you played before? Find the Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com for your mother.in.law and senior brother. Oh, you're talking about that old Taoist. I made a mistake. Li Luantian realized, then I'm done. What's wrong? I'm not dead now, he will definitely cast another curse. Li Luantian looked indifferent and suddenly thought to himself, system, what's the use of you? Do you remember me now? I'm useless, keep sleeping, good system, aren't we ignorant? No, you must have a way to save me, right? I beg you. Li Luantian was pretending, but he didn't want to die, otherwise he would have jumped off earlier. Isn't it lousy, lousies? Are you still horizontal? No. Shouldn't we go back, do we? Keep going. I still like your rebellious appearance, is there a way? Then. You big-headed ghost, still thinking of going back. But there are really a few of them that you said, what? According to company regulations, data feedback is required to be provided to the company every month, at least and only once, and provide feedback on task progress to the activator at the same time. Next, the latest advertisement will be sent from the company. Additionally, scoring was also done at that time. Really, there are still a few days left. Li Luantian was pleasantly surprised and couldn't speak. 16 days. Li Luantian suddenly felt a heavy stick being knocked on him. This is too long, isn't it? No way, our company follows the lunar calendar, so, the system, what are you using? Alright, stop teasing you and watch for yourself. Li Luantian unfolded a semi-transparent panel in front of him. Why do you still have advertisements here? You are listening at novel full.audio. Funeral bell system number 1209, will not be displayed in the future, activator. You do not have permission to know, will not be displayed in the future, production. Heavenly Burial System Unlimited Company 10th Production Branch 596 Studio, will not be displayed in the future, current host. Li Luantian, Yin Ming Power. 1. Approximately, remaining usable time of the system. 10 years, 7 days, 12 hours, 1 minute, 53 seconds, will not be displayed in the future, related to the power of Yin and Ming, system capability, complete collection of funeral bell making plans, currently unlocked January 10th, empowering items with the power of Yin and darkness, recycling burial bell fragments to provide Yin and Ming power, system space, currently empty, currently 1 cubic meter, task, main task. Collect as much scattered Yin and Ming power as possible from the main world, main task. Kill as many owners of the Yin and underworld power as possible in the main world, final task. Utilize existing cycle systems to establish a complete cycle system, branch task 1. Make a funeral bell, reward. None, the system prompts what other reward do you want? The funeral bell is, side task 2. I won't show you now, but you can't finish it anyway. Li Luantian looked at these strips and a question appeared on his face. What do you mean by the system? No reward. I can't complete it. What do you mean? Ah. Li Luantian was so angry. Also, what's the use of this? What's the use of it? Don't be angry, the reward is not from me, I am not a predatory system, not even a welfare reduction system, not a trading system, I am a guide type, absolutely a poor person, you. Forget it, what's the use of the funeral bell? Let's talk about it. The functions all revolve around it. If it doesn't work, I'll jump off here and love anyone. Anyway, it's all dead. Li LuntianNo was completely speechless, although he didn't know what the guided system was. Oh, by the way, actually I can also introduce everything based on the database, and perform calculations, derive results, funeral bell. Actually, it's just a bell, this is nonsense. 1. Utilize the power of Yin and the runes depicted to communicate the cycle of reincarnation in this realm. 2. Advanced burial bell, with a self-formed cycle inside the bell. 3. Use the first two to store the power of Yin and the underworld or its carriers, passive. Can protect the holder from the influence of Yin and Ming forces, while absorbing, oh, ho ho ho. This is good, it's good. Li LuntianNo began to get excited, because it meant that having a funeral bell would not fear death. Okay. You can keep the panel in the system and play it yourself. Fool. Li LuntianNo immediately opened the complete collection of funeral bell making plans, and the panel immediately became three-dimensional. In the middle was a hexagonal bell, with red runes on each of its 6 outer walls, while the inner walls were painted in red. There was a 4-legged monster, a bald monk, an ugly person standing a monster, a person who looked very wealthy and had a big belly, a quite ordinary person, a very thin person crawling on the ground eating something unknown, and the middle ball should be engraved with words. Anyway, Li LuntianNo didn't know either. In addition, there are some words written at the bottom of the three-dimensional panel. Production consumption. 1 hexagonal bell, some cinnabar, and some high baijio, auxiliary tools. A carving knife, a brush, and a set of pestles and mortar, the 6 paths reincarnation system of Buddha, Tathagata, cult, 6 arhat burial bells, function. Open the world to 6 samsaras, and invite Zhang to sit down arhat, to use and absorb souls, required for Yin Ming PowerPoint 1, it's okay, the power of the underworld is just right, but I don't have this material ready either. Li LuntianNo felt flustered after reading it. Should he go out and buy it? That's enough. When I looked at my memory, I found that there was still cash in the stack of papers, over 9,000 yuan, but Li LuntianNo didn't want to go out. Forget it, just go out and go back quickly. Li LuntianNo stood up and was about to walk out. Suddenly, he froze and his body couldn't move. Li LuntianNo thought to himself, I won't be cursed again. Then the panel appeared, and video segments began to play, still three-dimensional. Lingshire sold at a low price, Lingshire sold at a low price, 10 down, 1 middle, 10 up. You can't find a cheaper exchange rate in the heavens anymore. If you want to change speed, please change your address. Various Lingtian Chamber of Commerce branches. Have you ever been troubled by the inability to cultivate without spiritual roots or other organs? Have you ever been disappointed because of your poor qualifications and inability to keep up with your cultivation speed? Have you ever suffered because you couldn't break through the realm? Don't worry, don't lose, don't suffer anymore, let's take action. We are the great hospital of the cultivation world. We have the most advanced Naren organ transplantation technology. We have the most perfect cultivation pill. We have the best people to assist with breakthrough techniques. Come to us and you will have the most perfect cultivation experience. Take action now. My Buddha says that there is no shortage of heavenly spirits, and the sun, moon, stars, and stars are in my Buddha's palm. Believe that all Buddhas have good fruits, and enter the kingdom of Buddhism for eternal life. My Buddhist name is Gu Yen, and my Buddhist name is Tua Luo Ran, true fruit. Li LuntianNo stayed here for about 10 minutes, watching over 50 advertisements, including those selling goods, spreading information, and urging not to use force. The most outrageous one was a man lecturing on the podium, unable to understand anything, and even more outrageous than the one reciting Buddhism. He flipped over and over again, saying which sect was better to go to. In the end, he even sold a book, which took up about 5 minutes. What the hell? The system is rolling out. Why do you still have advertisements in your system? My guidance system has a bit of advertising, which is very reasonable, right? Besides, the company's systems all have advertisements, which is not my regulation. What's up? No need. Well, don't you make it clear that there are still functions that need to be advertised? Li Luantian was even more speechless. There were also advertisements, such as the bull horse system. No, this one has an advertisement. After using it once, watch it again. The longer you use it, the longer you watch it. 1.1 conversion. In addition, you can also watch and save it on a regular basis, and I can retrieve it for you. This is okay, forget it. Li Luantian nodded and continued walking outside. When he left the door, he remembered that he had forgotten to take the money and went back to take all the cash. He then walked out again. As soon as he arrived at the entrance, he heard old Zhang inside the room shouting, "Xiao Tian wants to go out." Cough 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 cough. All right, Lao Zhang, come back and see if you're dead. I know, goodbye. Li Luantian said as he opened the door and forgot to leave. He closed the door and started going downstairs. To the north of Mr. Zhang's house, he was lying on the bed, playing with his phone. Inside, there were some obscene videos. At the corner of the bed, there was a clock, a paper horse, and a paper man. There was a portrait of the 6 burials of bodhisattvas hanging on the wall, and below was a brazier burning unknown powder. There was also a luo and a hammer next to Mr. Zhang, which he reminded Li Luantian when he was about to die when he was at home. Mr. Zhang muttered, I don't know why he went out, but this girl is really stupid. Li Luantian walked down for a while before meeting someone head-on. It was Ning Zifu who greeted Li Luantian with a loud greeting, Brother Tian, you're going out to buy some self-heating food again. Oh, look for Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com Zifu, yes, otherwise. By the way, you're getting married, right? Li Luantian trembled with fear when he saw Ning Zifu. But I still took a few glances, not to mention, very handsome, half of myself. I can't think of it anymore, it's several times more handsome than myself. Even a selfless person who doesn't even like women is somewhat tempted. Yeah. Thank you for your concern, Tianga. Tomorrow is the day, Zifu chuckled. Oh, by the way, take this 1,000 yuan and treat it as my numerator. Li Luantian took out 1,000 yuan from his bag. Oh my. I can't do it, how could it be given twice? Brother Tian, you can't remember clearly. You've already given it. Ning Zifu quickly waved his hand. Has it been given? All right. Li Luantian was a bit surprised, winky face. Huh, Tian Gu, you. I'm going up first. I have to pick up Mochi early tomorrow morning. Ning Zifu said and went up. Li Luantian also walked out of the building towards the car, got in the car, drove in one go. What, no car key? Hi, the key is in the car, the window is open, it's my own car anyway. But where are we going? Li Luantian thought for a while, let's go to the antique market. I remember there was a supermarket next to the antique market, which happened to be a good place to stock up on food. Li Luantian drove away like this, without noticing the 2 gazes in a corner. He's really not dead. Are you still cursing me, disciple? Said the blue-robed Taoist, and Niamoli's eyes froze beside him. After a while, he said, no need, master. Why? Didn't you let it happen? The blue-robed Taoist was puzzled. I don't know, it's him. Well, he's a good person. Memory paused. All right, said the blue-robed Taoist, and then in his heart, he said, have you killed so few good people? Oh my. Let's go, master. Niamoli walked out. Here we are. The blue-robed Taoist should arrive. Old Zhang becomes a ghost. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Li Luantian quickly arrived at the antique market, found a place to park the car, and got off the car to enter. There aren't many people in the antique market, and there aren't many stalls either. Li Luantian just took a look and spent half of his time browsing. Not to mention those who sell bells, there aren't even many who sell copper coins. Most of them sell porcelain, and there are also a few who sell jewelry. Well, cinnabar jewelry. Handmade carving, on.Site production. Li Luan's eyes lit up and he quickly approached. Boss, how much does this cinnabar cost per kilogram? That pile of small beads costs 10 yuan each, and if you buy more, you can also wear them for free. The larger ones cost 30 yuan, and the fragments cost 50 yuan. If you want to carve the larger ones and fragments, you can add 50 yuan each. The boss said without looking up at his phone. How much does it cost per kilogram? Li Luantian said again. Are you nitpicking? Ah. Didn't you see what's written here? Jewelry, not scattered cinnabar. Besides, how much can you buy? You want talismans. The boss looked up, a middle-aged man with a beard on his face. Yeah. How did you know? Li Luantian said, drawing a bell can also be considered painting. Are you mentally ill? Okay, 1,001 pound, why, buy. The boss was a bit annoyed. So cheap. It's for 2,000, Li Luantian was a bit surprised. His previous colleague had bought it before, but it wasn't cheap. He said it was 2 or 3,000, but only bought one string, 13 pieces, weighing only about 1 or 2, showing off every day. Li Luantian then took out the money and counted out 2,000. Thank you for your patronage. Is it convenient for the boss to leave a contact? The boss's attitude immediately changed, and he took the money and put a large bag from the back box, handing it over. Sure, you remember 132 ***** 5633, Li Luantian took cinnabar and left the phone number. Oh, by the way, boss, do you know where to sell bells? Is it that old-fashioned? Is it that kind of Western? I don't know about Western styles. You should find the right person for old-fashioned ones. My younger brother will sell them. His ancestral craftsmanship is definitely handmade, but unfortunately I didn't learn it, the boss said with a smile. Yes, that's the old-fashioned style. Where is your younger brother? Li Luantian quickly asked. Here, it's the stall at the back, the boss pointed back. Thank you, boss. Let's talk again next time. Li Luantian quickly walked to the booth at 50. There were many bells on the booth, some with patterns painted on them, but most of them were not. The vendor was a young man who was also playing with his phone, and there were tools such as brushes and knives nearby, and even more than one set. Boss, how do you sell this bell? Li Luantian asked, holding a hexagonal copper bell in his hand. Your young man of 100 raised his head. Oh, by the way, how do you sell those sets of tools? Li Luantian continued to ask, do you want it? 50 for a carving knife, 50 for a brush, 30 for a small plate, 70 for a pestle and mortar, pick whatever you want. The young man said with a good attitude. Thank you, help me bring over that set of vermilion sand, this is 300. Li Luantian took out the money. You really want it? Alright, take it. The young man quickly took out the set of tools, handed it to Li Luantian, and then took the money. Li Luantian took the things, gave them money, said thank you a few times, took the things back to the car, put them down, then ran to the supermarket, took 10 bottles of baijiu, not to mention very expensive, more than 1,000, then took the rest of the money to buy water and self-heating food, moved them back to the car, and drove back. It took several trips to move things up the stairs, and during that time, I also took a look at old Zhang. He wasn't dead, so I looked at him better. Well, let's not say it anymore. I understand what I understand. Finally, I returned to the room, closed the door, ate some more food, and then opened the system to start making the funeral bell. After about an hour, it was finally completed, and then I was forced to watch the advertisement for another hour before reaching the final step. The system is beginning to endow Yin and Ming with power, Li Luantian said in his heart. Are you sure? The current burial bell can endow Yin and Ming powers. 1. Sure. Of course I'm sure. How about that? Start endowing Yin and Ming power. Countdown 10 seconds. 9, 8, 2, 1. Waiting for a long 10 seconds. End of empowering Yin and Ming power. Congratulations on the host obtaining 6 Arhat burial bells. Simple version. Automatically store in system space. Note that due to the remaining power of Yin and Ming being about 0, automatically start system remaining time countdown. 7 days, 8 hours, 26 minutes, 57 seconds. Please ask the host to obtain the power of Yin in the underworld as soon as possible. Branch Task 1. Create a funeral bell. Completed. No reward. Open Branch Task 2. Obtain at least 1 Yin and dark power. Reward 1.9 Yin and dark power, distributed by the activated person opening the channel. Reward 2. Unlock 6 Guardian Funeral Bells. Reward 3. Unlocking the burial bell of the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. Li Luantian looked at the things on the panel with no waves in his heart, and then said to the system, aren't you very domineering? Why are you pulling like this now? Oh, it's only 7 days. Ha ha ha. Oh, I won't do the task, I'm just playing. Fool, hey, don't be stubborn. I'll take out the funeral bell now. What's this? How come there's still a time limit? Li Luantian said casually as he opened the system space and let out the howl of a groundhog in his heart. 6 Arhat burial bells, simple version, disposable, survival time. 6 days, 23 hours, 58 minutes, and 59 seconds. In fact, the best duration can last up to 10 days, but your one is too rudimentary. Instructions. Shake the funeral bell in hand and recite a spell. Can be silently recited. Spell. The funeral bell holds my hand. 6 rounds open. Arhat helps me, and accepts the hell. Note. Up to 10 Yin and Ming powers can be absorbed, returning 5 Yin and Ming powers. Passive. Yin Ming power does not add to my body. Rule level. System. What does this mean? Li Luantian collapsed a bit. The power of Yin and the underworld will dissipate over time, and no object can maintain the power of Yin and the underworld, so, just 7 days. Li Luantian began to lie in bed. Is this not enough for you to use? I have enough paper, but what happens afterwards? I'm useless. Li Luantian's face was full of unrequited emotions. The sound of Chang came from old Zhang's room. Is old Zhang not working? Li Luantian climbed up and rushed into old Zhang's house. The room was very dark, and I only saw old Zhang sitting by the bed, so I couldn't see clearly because the lights were not turned on. You're not dead, what gong are you hitting? It scared me to death. Li Luantian saw old Zhang sitting there and said, calming his heart. The nearby Yin and Ming power has reached the limit of mental endurance. Now using the burial bell can obtain fragments containing approximately 0.55 Yin and Ming powers. Old Zhang, Ghost, 0.1 Yin and Ming power, Environment 0.02 Yin Ming power. What thing? Li Luantian saw the panel and a big question mark appeared in his mind, then he began to fear. Why aren't you dead? Ha ha ha, Xiaotian, I'm dead. Old Zhang said eerily, look, isn't this my body? I saw old man Zhang lifting the blanket, I don't know how ghosts can lift it, and revealing his body, with a pale face and a phone still on the side. Lao Zhang, don't kill me, or else I'll collect your body. Li Luantian's expression was the same now. I see how scared you are. Let's go to Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com and stop scaring you, ha ha ha. The light lit up out of thin air, and old Zhang laughed heartily. Alright, take it slow. After a while of silence, Li Luantian finally recovered and said, Mr. Zhang, why have you become a ghost? Now he wasn't so scared, after all, he remembers spending time together every day. It's nothing. Have you seen the 6 burial bodhisattvas? He entrusted a Taoist priest to teach me the method of nourishing souls, said old Zhang. Li Luantian only then noticed the portrait of the 6 burial bodhisattvas and those things. Oh. So Lao Zhang, you don't need to go to the underworld anymore. What are you talking about? Why don't you go? Before we go, we need to tease Ning Zifu. Alright, help me deliver it to cremation. Tomorrow when Ning Zifu goes to pick up his wife, you can help me arrange it. Old Zhang smiled and said. Lao Zhang, what are you doing? Do you want to mess with Zifu? I won't help you. Li Luantian's courage also increased. What are you saying? I'm not that bad, I'm just teasing him. Old Zhang became a little anxious. How could you wrongly accuse someone? Am I so miserable in your heart? Li Luantian fell silent a bit. Okay, I know what you're thinking. I'm good at sex and not fake. But I've never done anything bad. Lust but not adultery, lust but not evil. This is my life principle. How about I have no children, no daughters, and no wives? You guys. Old Zhang became even more excited. Okay, I was wrong, but let's just say it's okay, don't really hurt Zifu. Li Luantian felt a bit guilty. Indeed, old Zhang is lascivious, but he hasn't done anything bad except peeping. That's alright. Oh, by the way, do you remember to go check on Ning Zifu tomorrow morning after the decoration is done? I don't think he's quite right. How could anyone get married on the 14th day of the 7th lunar month? Said old Zhang. Well, let me help you cremate first. Li Luantian made a phone call. Welcome to the wedding. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Luantian called in some brothers and helped to transport the body to the crematorium. He also took over 500,000 yuan as a backup and sent back 1,000 yuan each. After several minutes, Zhang's body was finally cremated, and he drove home with his urn. When he opened the door, he saw Zhang dancing an unknown dance in the living room, his eyes burning. Xiaotian has returned. Oh, this urn is beautiful. I went first, said old Zhang, turning into a ball and getting into the urn. Li Luantian stood still in confusion, paused for a moment, put the urn in old Zhang's bedroom, and then returned to his room. Suddenly, he felt a bit defecated and went to the bathroom again. It was so comfortable to pull it up. The toilet is quite clean, and Mr. Zhang's house is just that. It's clean and tidy, and I don't know why. After finishing pulling, Li Luantian went back to his room and took off to sleep. Before going to bed, he thought to himself that there was still a lack of air conditioning in the room. After finishing this ticket, he decided to install it. Li Luantian already knows how to obtain the power of Yin and the underworld. His current goal is to follow Ning Zifu to complete the task. In the last scene, when Ning Zifu releases all the ghosts, he is using the burial bell. He should be able to regain one Yin and the underworld power. Approximately. Good night, Makabaka. ZZ. Having nothing to do overnight, Li Luantian slept very well. At 5 o'clock in the morning, the sky was hazy and slightly foggy. Wake up, Xiaotian. Li Luantian only heard a faint sound and was frightened into a cold sweat. When he opened his eyes, it was old Zhang. What are you doing, Lao Zhang? Oh, my beautiful dream. Li Luantian complained. Alright, come on. Ning Zifu has started washing up, said old Zhang with a disdainful expression on his face. Okay, Li Luantian just got up and put on his clothes to wash up. Just go to the miscellaneous room to get things. The miscellaneous room used to be Ning Zifu's room, but since no one had rented it for a long time, it was used by Mr. Zhang to store miscellaneous items. Li Luantian didn't even look at it, and now he realized that there was only a four-cornered tent and a few braziers inside, along with a portrait. Li Luantian went out holding the tent and met Ning Zifu head-on, dressed in groom's attire and even more handsome. Tiangu, good morning. What are you doing? Oh, Tiangu, shouldn't you be sleeping at this time? Ning Zifu greeted and asked, because it was dark in the hallway and he had just woken up, so he couldn't see clearly what Li Luantian was holding. Ah. Zifu. Do you need a groomsman? Can I be with you? Li Luantian was taken aback and then replied with the words he had thought for more than 10 minutes last night. Lack. Why not? They all have something to do and don't have time to come. Tian Gu is here just in time. I was afraid you wouldn't agree before, so I didn't dare to ask, just in time. Ning Zifu said happily. What a lively wedding. All right. By the way, where is your wife? I'll take out the trash first and then follow up. You go first, said Li Luantian. Tian Gu forgot again. Zang Ling village. It's the same place as my hometown. I'll go first and see you later, Ning Zifu said as she hurriedly walked down. Li Luantian watched him go down and walked slowly. When he reached the entrance of the building, he breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Ning Zifu's car had already driven out. Set up the tent as quickly as possible, go upstairs, continue, put Zhong and Ma Fong in the underground garage, and move old Zhang's belongings downstairs. It took half an hour, as for the rest. For example, Mr. Zhang can complete things such as portraits and talismans himself, so he didn't do them for now in order not to cause inconvenience to his neighbors. After completing these tasks, Li Luantian drove and navigated to Zang Ling village. Upon entering the village, he saw Ning Zifu surrounded by a group of children, while Li Luantian's car had just dispersed. Brother Tian, here you are. This way, Ning Zifu shouted when she saw Li Luantian coming. Here we go. Li Luantian responded and ran over. After the two met, they walked together towards the village and arrived at a doorway. Here we are, Ning Zifu said. Just open the door and walk inside, with Li Luantian following behind. Why is this door tangled with a rope? It must be Machi. By the way, there are pliers over there. Ning Zifu said as she ran to the nearby well, grabbed the pliers, returned to the door, and with a click, cut it open. Opening the door, I saw a woman wearing a red wedding dress inside. Mo-chi, Ning Zifu affectionately called out, and then hugged her. Li Luantian looked at the woman and understood that it was actually Nye Moli, not Nye Machi. As soon as he woke up to remind her, he listened to the system sound. It's best not to interfere with the main plot. Based on data analysis, the only possible place in the plot where the power of Yin and the underworld exceeds 1 is in the final chapter. Interference with the plot may not reach the final chapter. Li Luantian was stunned and said to himself, then I'll just go there, okay? Do you know where it is? I don't know, but can I ask that mother.in.law if it's okay? You can try it, but it's basically not possible. Well, okay. Li Luantian didn't notice Nye Moli's gaze. Why did he come? Nye Moli thought, forget it. When we arrive at the chapel, let's give him some more paper figures. By the way, I don't know how the master is doing. I hope we don't need to use them there. The first ring will end. Next, there were some ceremonies. Ning Zifu picked up Nye Machi and got into the car, driving to the hotel that had been booked earlier. It only took less than 2 hours. The sky is already hazy. After all, it's past 7 o'clock, but it's cloudy. Arriving at the hotel means waiting for the best time. Zhaoshuyuan.com Nye Mori found an excuse to go inside. The two elderly people didn't know where they had gone, and there were only Li Luantian and Ning Zifu left at the scene, as well as the waiter who occasionally served dishes. The scene was a bit off, some too fragrant, but Ning Zifu still looked happy and came to chat with Li Luantian. Tian Gu, I finally got married to Mo-chi. Didn't you get your marriage certificate a few days ago? That's different. What's different? So. After chatting for 2 or 3 hours, it was around 10 o'clock. The fragrance in the air became heavier and heavier, and Ning Zifu yawned several times before falling asleep on the table. Li Luantian is also a bit tired. Suddenly, the bell in his arms rang, and Li Luantian suddenly woke up. Seeing that there was no monitoring, he took a plate of mantu and found a place to hide in the house. Sure enough, after a while, Nyamoli walked in, turned around, and looked puzzled. "Where's the other person?" "They left. I searched around again, but couldn't find Li Luantian, so I left. As I walked, I said, 'It's good to leave.' Oh, it's just right." Li Luantian was worried for a while and just breathed a sigh of relief when Nyamoli turned back and looked at the room. It seems like he really left, too, and he began to decorate it. It took more than an hour to complete the decoration, during which Li Luantian was almost discovered multiple times. After arranging it, I finally went out. Li Luantian waited for an hour before formally eating mantu. When he finished eating, he decided that Nyamoli would not come back for the time being, so he found a comfortable position to sleep. There was nothing we could do, but the quality of sleep was good. Li Luantian fell into a deep sleep. I didn't snore, I slept soundly. Good night, Makabaka, have a good dream. Baitang, Part 1, You young boy, don't take the road. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Say goodbye heaven and earth. Li Luantian vaguely heard a voice that sounded like a eunuch, pulling out a long, unpleasant voice that was about to die. I was about to have a seizure and suddenly became clear-headed. Erbai Gao Tang. Li Luantian looked out and saw Ning Zifu at first glance, bowing together with Nye Machi. Well, her face was still full of happiness. Sanbai parents. Li Luantian stood up and continued to observe, only to find two portraits on the Grand Tutor's chair, while the MC was a paper figure with a tape recorder under his feet. I didn't seem to notice the appearance of Ning Zifu. And Nyamoli didn't notice Li Luantian either. Couple say goodbye. I saw that Ning Zifu and Nyamoli were facing each other, but Ning Zifu seemed to be a bit panicked. It should have been noticed. Nyamoli made a small movement in his hand and tore open a talisman with one hand. In an instant, the Yin energy inside the room was heavy, and a woman in white appeared in front of Nyamori, disappearing with him in an instant. Ning Zifu's face showed a frightened expression. Hey, what are you waiting for? Li Luantian saw the person leave and came out to pat Ning Zifu. Ah. Sigma. Ning Zifu was startled and turned his head. Tian Gu, it's you. You scared me to death, oh no. Didn't you leave? Ning Zifu was awakened by a photo taken by Nyamoli. When he saw that Li Luantian was not around, he asked, and Nyamoli replied, oh, if he has something to do, he'll go back first. This made Li Luantian even more puzzled. Isn't it okay again? I'll be back soon. What's wrong with you? Where's your wife? Also, why is your scene so strange? Li Luantian obediently said to Ning Zifu. Oh my. Tian Gu scared me to death, I don't know either. I don't know if Mochi is okay, let's go out and take a look first. Alright. Oh, why is there a paper figure here? Li Luantian said as he walked out and ran into the child's paper figure. He was taken aback and blurted out before remembering to play with this. Oh, you want a red envelope, right? I happen to have it here. As he spoke, he took out a piece of red paper from his pocket, folded it, and put 1,000 on it. The red paper was arranged at Nyamachi's house, and after finishing these, he put it in the paper man's hand. Just look at that paper figure with questions on it. My eyes twitched and my hands shook, causing the red envelope to fall out. Hey, you paper person, you don't know what's going on. Why are you so unremarkable? Don't you know this is legal? Pick it up quickly, or I'll find my brother to beat you up. Li Luantian said, just to test it out, and then rang the bell. The paper man seemed to tremble, and a flash of fear flashed across his face, only to see the red envelope appearing in Li Luantian's hand. Can you exchange it for a ghost coin? Thank you, uncle, please. A gloomy voice came in, very low, with a hint of pleading. For this little ghost, he did feel the danger, but Nemo Dawn seemed even more terrifying, so he persisted and didn't run, just trembling and trembling, which was somewhat ridiculous. You little devil. I won't make things difficult for you anymore. I don't know what's wrong. The ghost coin is not as useful as this. Forget it, even if you say it, you don't understand. Li Luantian didn't find it difficult for him either. After all, this little ghost was also instructed by others, not what he thought. Moreover, this little ghost's Yin and Ming power is less than that of old Zhang, and the system prompts that 0.01 is not enough to fill the gaps between his teeth. Tiangu, what are you doing? Why did you still play with paper figures? You see, they don't even pay attention to you, Ning Zifu said with a smile, also heartless, still smiling at the moment. Oh, let's go. We may be trapped, let's see if there's anything inside that can help us. Li Luantian just started working officially. Okay, I just looked through it and found a box of matches, but for some reason, the food is all paper, Ning Zifu said. I also looked over here and found a bottle of paste. Li Luantian took out a bottle of paste from the cabinet. This lantern is out. If you want to try, you can't light it. I'm taking a look. Okay, Ning Zifu started lighting candles. Hey, there's a character on it. Chen Wu is ugly. Ziyin, why is it missing a candle? Hey, I found a key on the mahjong table, Li Luantian shouted. Let's see if we can open this lock. Hey, can't we? Said while working. It doesn't seem like it's here. By the way, Tiangu, I remember there was a candle over there that you helped bring over. Okay. Li Luantian said and walked to the 8 Immortals table, breaking off the candle. Then he walked back and gave the candle to Ning Zifu. Ning Zifu took the candle, blew it out, placed it in the cage, lit it, and just finished using the match. Chen Wu Cho, Ziyin Shen, what does that mean? There is a book here, Chen Wu Cho, Ziyin Shen is 572,132, well, there's a box over here, 572132, isn't it? Oh, there's also a high and low order. Ning Zifu found the box, so it's 527139, opened. There's an empty red envelope. What's the use of it? I remember there was a ghost coin over there, and I remember it right. Sure enough, it's just broken. Where's the paste, Brother Tian? Here. Li Luantian gave the paste to Ning Zifu, and Ning Zifu began to stick it together. Not to mention, Ning Zifu's ability is really impressive, and he hasn't seen the plot many times like Li Luantian. Put it together, give it a try in the red envelope. Ning Zifu put it in the red envelope and went to find Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com, walking towards the little ghost. Hey, Zifu, you're still talking about me, aren't you the same? Li Luantian smiled. Ning Zifu happened to give the red envelope to the little ghost, and the ghost disappeared with a smile. There is a lock in front of the door. Brother Tian, give that key a try, Ning Zifu said. Okay, it's open. Li Luantian tried and opened it, and there was a woman in white at the door. Mochi. Ning Zifu shouted. Mo-chi drifted back, while Ning Zifu chased after her. Li Luantian almost couldn't keep up, but fortunately it wasn't a few steps away. Mochi drifted into another door. The door closes as soon as you enter. Bracelet, a faint voice pierced through the door. Is it our regular token? I'll go get it right away. Ning Zifu felt a bit off. With a ding sound, Li Luantian rang the funeral bell. Hey, what am I, Brother Tian, you're laughing. Ning Zifu just became a little clear-headed. Alright, go get the bracelet now. Li Luantian nodded lightly and said. Inside, Nye Moli finished changing clothes and muttered to himself, why is he still there? Didn't he leave? Don't move, hee hee. A semi-transparent person next to him was in the dancer's hand. Mori pressed her down with one hand. Hee hee, forget it, I haven't disturbed my plan yet. Let's take a look. So your name is Li Luntian. I hope we don't go against each other, murmured Moli. At the entrance of the community, a blue-robed Taoist appeared with question marks on his face. Why did you set it up on your own? Well, forget it, it's just right. It's not the key game anyway. The blue-robed Taoist chuckled, I can't move at all. Even though my back is a bit itchy, I don't know what's wrong. Today, I can't scratch it. Baitang, Part 2, 1 seems to have remained unchanged. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Hey, why is the box locked? We should need 2 butterfly keys, Ning Zifu asked herself. Zifu. Over here, Li Luntian walked aside and opened the sedan chair, which had a key next to it. Who's inside here? It could be a balloon or something, why can't I touch it? Ning Zifu came over, but the note was a bit strange. Well, I don't know. By the way, here's a key, said Li Luntian. Oh, by the way, could it be from that cabinet? Ning Zifu only then noticed, let's try it out, Li Luntian said as he took the key and tried it out. Ning Zifu followed suit. Click. It opened, it was a pair of scissors. Scissors, by the way, that brazier is made of cloth, can it be cut open? Ning Zifu said, taking it up and cutting off a piece of cloth. Well, by the way, those 2 paintings are a bit dirty. Go and wipe them. Ning Zifu thought for a moment and said again. There's basically nothing wrong with Li Luntian. Ning Zifu wiped it off and revealed 4 symbols. By the way, there's a cabinet over there, give it a try. Li Luntian finally choked out a sentence. Okay, Ning Zifu went and gave it a try. It's a pole scale, okay. By the way, on the door curtain, Li Luntian said quickly, emphasizing the presence of the key points. There's also a balloon on it. Thank you, Brother Tian. Ning Zifu said, taking off the butterfly key from the door curtain. The balloon can't reach it. Let's first see what that sedan chair is. Ning Zifu said again. Opening the cover is to add a few arrows to the bow. With a whoosh, the balloon was knocked down, and Ning Zifu's speed was very fast. Alright. Ning Zifu quickly opened the box and took out the bracelet. Li Luntian didn't even keep up, there was no sense of existence at all. Is that okay? Little dog, the system that hasn't been bubbling is just a mockery. You go. Li Luntian thought silently. Ah. Uncle and aunt. Don't worry. I will take care of Mochi, Ning Zifu said in shock as she was about to return. In front of him were 2 transparent people, with their backs facing Li Luntian, and their Yin Ming power was even less than that of a little ghost. After Ning Zifu finished speaking these words, the 2 elderly people disappeared. Ning Zifu quickly rushed over and said, Mochi, I have it. Open the door. The sound was not loud, but one could hear that she was anxious. The door opened with a click. Mochi, Ning Zifu said to the woman in white. Zifu, I'm here, she's not me. A female voice appeared next to her, and Ning Zifu turned her head to see a woman in red, actually Moli. Ning Zifu turned around and the woman in white disappeared. Then, she appeared behind Mochi and dragged her out. Zifu, save me, go to Zang Ling village. Only 1 sentence remained. Ning Zifu was extremely anxious and rushed out. Li Luntian smiled and shook his head. With a funeral bell, it's different. Hi, the woman in white is wrapped in a lot of silk thread. Controlled by memory. Seeing Ning Zifu leave, Li Luntian also followed and got into their respective cars as soon as they left the hotel. Li Luntian looked back and saw Moli chuckling in the corner. It was actually quite nice, just scared. The name of the hotel is Zhangzhou Town Grand Hotel. The name is quite good, Li Luantian thought. I focused on driving and saw a person sitting behind Ning Zifu's car, who was the real Niamachi. Of course, it is in ghost form. Driving all the way, Li Luantian began to calculate. This first chapter is actually quite safe and must be passed. After all, it was directed and performed by Niamoli, and the main purpose of this chapter is to guide Ning Zifu into a guiding role. Prepare for the next chapter. Will the next chapter still follow the plot of Niamori? If that's the case, Niamachi will definitely receive a wave of damage. But if you don't follow, you won't be able to get to the last chapter of the plot. So, Li Luantian has made plans. Half an hour later, Ning Zifu and Li Luantian returned to Zang Ling village. At first glance was Grandma Tang, and as soon as Ning Zifu got off the car, he started talking to her. Let him go back. Ning Zifu only then realized that it was now July 15th. Niamachi wanted to follow up, but Li Luantian stopped her at once, and Ning Zifu didn't notice. Niamachi felt like she had hit something and looked puzzled. Li Luantian pulled her to the side of the car. Tiangu, what are you doing? Ning Zifu noticed this side. I'll take a sip of water, said Li Luantian. Oh. Ning Zifu responded and started talking to Grandma Tang again. Li Luantian just spoke to Niamachi. I know you are Niamachi, Li Luantian's first sentence stunned Niamachi, unable to speak. If you want revenge, just listen to me. Stay in the car now, don't come out, wait for me to call you, Li Luantian continued, looking at her with his eyes. Niamachi was stunned for a while before finally getting on the car. Li Luantian breathed a sigh of relief and the first installment was successful. Tiangu, let's go. Ning Zifu happened to call him. Okay, Li Luantian responded and followed up. Leave Niamachi in a daze in the car. On the other side, Niamori has already merged with the blue-robed Taoist. Has the master solved it? It's done, replied the blue-robed Taoist, feeling a bit guilty when looking for the Shuyuan website www.zhaoshuyuan.com. That's it, by the way. Master, Li Luantian followed him to Zang Ling village, Niamoli continued. I said why he wasn't there. Just right. The blue-robed Taoist felt even more guilty. Well, I hope he doesn't interfere with my business, Niamoli said. I'll go up first. Master, please wait below. He then walked up. Okay, said the blue-robed Taoist. I didn't notice a person's head poking out in the corner, using a ghost is not elegant. It was old Zhang who stretched out and then withdrew. Last night, Li Luantian's his mother didn't come back after waiting for one night. Next morning, old man Zhang was about to put those portraits away. He thought, why did they not come back? When he saw the blue-robed Taoist walking up, he immediately hid. After all, it was not the blue-robed Taoist who taught it himself, but old man Zhang stole a book from the blue-robed Taoist. The blue-robed Taoist walked upstairs and muttered a few words before going down. Now that he has said these things, old Zhang still doesn't know what's going on. I started praying for Li Luantian and the others, oh my goodness, you must come back safely. Otherwise, no one will see you off. The blue-robed Taoist seemed to have heard something and was momentarily taken aback. He looked over and muttered to himself, I don't know why, it's been like this these past few days. The blue-robed Taoist didn't notice that there was a white bug on his back. Sucking his blood. Inside the white insect, a small person said fiercely, damn it, I was cursed to death by you old man, and I even wanted to harm my brother. Someone even reincarnated me with my body. Do you want to do it again? I'm so miserable, you still mess with me. Look at me, if I don't suck you to death, I suck you. After you finish sucking, you can go see how that person is doing. If it's good, then we'll talk about it. If it's not good, then humph. Ask the name. Your name is Sue. You are listening at novel full.audio. Li Luantian followed Ning Zifu back to the place where he picked up Nyamachi yesterday morning, and then saw that the door was locked. Standing next to him is a paper figure on stilts. Brother Tian, why is this locked? The scroll in the paper man's hand is wide open. Ning Zifu was surprised. Aren't you used to it yet? Go ahead, decrypt it. Anyway, you can't just climb over the wall. Li Luantian waved impatiently to Ning Zifu, I'm a bit tired. Let's take a break first. Oh. By the way, thank you for Tianji's help today. You need to rest for now. I'm here, I'm going, Ning Zifu said, but stood still for a while. What's wrong? Why haven't you gone yet? Li Luantian looked at him and said again. Oh my god, Tian Gu, I'm scared alone. Ning Zifu said trembling. I wasn't so scared before because Li Luantian was by my side. Now that I have to leave on my own, I naturally feel scared. Oh, I see you were very brave before. You ran so fast, said Li Luantian. What does Tian Gu say? If it weren't for you being by my side, I wouldn't have dared. In fact, it's not impossible to flip into it, Ning Zifu said. Alright, look at us skinny arms and legs. Can we flip inside? Li Luantian said. Here, I'll give you something. It's cinnabar. It's for suppressing evil. Go ahead. Li Luantian took out a round ball from his pocket and gave it to Ning Zifu. Thank you, Tian Gu. Then I'll go. Ning Zifu took the ball and began to decipher it. After all, he had some confidence. You didn't give that kid cinnabar, did you? The system has a bubble. Of course, I don't have the spare time to prepare. It's just that Zhang Hongji wrapped it in fast soil, and Zifu just lacks a sense of security. What are you afraid of? Li Luantian saw Ning Zifu walking away and sat down with a stone, saying to the system. Is this too much? What are you afraid of? I'm just a few steps away from here. If there's really danger, I won't let him bear it alone, Li Luantian continued. Besides, what can there be? Nyamachi can't hurt him. Besides her, there's only that second old man. Who can that second old man deal with? Not even this little ghost. Oh, there's this little ghost. Little ghost, why aren't you making a sound? Didn't you recognize your uncle? Li Luantian has been getting more and more arrogant these days, and I don't know why. I'm sorry, uncle, I'm sorry. The little ghost was afraid when he saw Li Luantian, but now he's even more afraid. The possessed paper figures began to tremble, and the amplitude was significant. Always apologizing. Alright, little devil. It's not over, is it? Tell me. Why are you following me again? Li Luan asked, knowing the reason. I also have a backstage for me, the little ghost was submissive. Upon hearing this, something suddenly came to his mind, and he came up hard, even though he heard it somewhat falsely. Hee. What are you shaking for? Li Luantian continued to shake the little ghost. Me. The little ghost became even more panicked upon hearing it. Ha. Li Luantian laughed heartily. Alright, stop teasing you. Don't scare yourself and pee. Oh, by the way, you're a paper person and can't pee. Woo, you're bad. The little ghost immediately understood what Li Luantian meant, and since it was impossible to kill him, he let go a bit. You cry for yourself. I'm going to see Zifu. Li Luantian got up and walked out. Halfway through, he turned around and said, What's your name? What is my name? The little ghost also stopped crying, with a hint of doubt in his voice. Yes, do I have a name? It seems you've forgotten, forget it, I'll give you one. Li Luantian smiled faintly. What's your name? Oh. If I hear your voice so empty, I'll call you empty. No, it doesn't feel like it's a bit ironic. The village next to the word to represents brilliant and dilapidated. It's a bit, forget it, that's it. You're called Sue. Remember, your name is Sue, and from now on, my surname will be Li Guishu, belonging to my next generation. Remember. Li Guishu. My name. Li Guishu. Alright. My name is Li Guishu. Li Guishu said seriously in his weak voice. Upon hearing these words, Li Luantian continued walking without noticing that the silk thread behind Li Guishu had broken inch by inch, leaving only one thread. At the same time, a new silk thread appeared and connected to Li Luantian's body. Tian Gu, I found an Iron Man, a drummer. Ning Zifu happened to come back and shouted when he saw Li Luantian. Bring me the cinnabar. I'm resting now and I'll follow you, said Li Luantian. Okay, Ning Zifu handed over the small ball, seemingly unaware. Then Ning Zifu used a wave-breaking drum to exchange for a cane, then used a cane to exchange with Grandma Tang for a cage, caught a grasshopper, exchanged keys with the child, and entered the door. Oh, I have a box. Li Luantian just said. Brother Tian, you don't know now. Look at the picture on it, it should be like this. Open it, top. Ning Zifu said as she opened the box. It should be used like this. She then went out and changed her headgear with Li Guishu. Oh, how could it be you? Ning Zifu was clearly frightened. When Li Luantian went out, he saw Ning Zifu standing still and some ashes on the ground. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a little wishing ghost. I didn't expect you to be so lucky. Obviously, what follows is what the system personally said. Zhaozuyuan.com. Li Luantian is a bit confused. What is Little Wish Ghost? He hasn't heard of it before. How did you get it? Li Guishu, ghost, ghost seed. Wishing ghosts, ghost form. Little ghost, wishing ghost. A ghost formed by a strong desire, opposite to a resentful ghost, Yin Ming Power .0.02, Revenge Silk Thread. Name, words, Ability 1. Possession. Prepare paper figures, Ability 2. Old seed new flower. Generate a soul seed that automatically absorbs nearby Yin and Ming powers after the soul body is destroyed, generating a new soul body. The host can be regarded as a soul resurrection, can grow, soul body cultivation method. Currently unavailable, a panel appeared in front of Li Luantian, with these words added at the bottom. In addition, there is an additional column for system capabilities, including a manual for creating paper figures, ad-free. Li Luantian looked at it and nodded. I felt a bit heavy on my shoulders. When I turned my head, I saw Li Guishu riding around my neck, listening to the sound and laughing happily. This child is so miserable. Ning Zifu also opened the box on the window, finished reading the diary, and said that she also found a leaf. No abnormalities were found in Li Luantian either. Don't be so emotional. You can't save your wife anymore. Li Luantian ignored Li Guishu and said to Ning Zifu. Oh, yes. Tian Gu, hurry up. Ning Zifu ran into the room and began to continue decrypting. Li Luantian put Li Guishu down and saw a line connecting them, only this one, but nothing else. He nodded and took Li Guishu's small hand as he entered. I didn't say much either. Li Guishu was also very understanding and didn't continue to make trouble. He followed in, but Li Luantian didn't notice that Li Guishu was floating here. Ask the name. Get your head down. You are listening at novel full.audio. Li Luantian entered the inner room and saw Ning Zifu holding a piece of paper on the mirror, muttering something. 4648, remember. Hey Tian Gu, are you coming in? Ning Zifu asked when she saw Li Luantian coming in, her expression still focused. What are you doing? So focused. Don't disturb me, Tiangu. 4648, alright, Tiangu, you don't understand. I don't know when these numbers will be used, so I memorized them, Ning Zifu said. Oh, then I won't disturb you anymore. There's nothing left in the house, go take a look in the yard, Ning Zifu said as she threw away the paper and walked outside. Li Luntian found the right time and found it in his hand. The two of them walked out of the house and turned around. There's nothing left. It's just a well, and there are bugs in the water tank. Tiangu and I will go fetch some water together. Okay. Li Luntian had no reason to refuse. The two of them spent dozens of minutes using their headsets to make the water. Retrieve the insects. Hey, there's a lock on the door, why don't we use it now? Ning Zifu started looking for a wheel to go down the well when he had time, and said when he saw the lock on the door. 464, what's that? 4648, Li Luntian reminded, there are also words on the lanterns. You can buy dim sum in Zifu. Oh. Thank you, Tiangu. Ning Zifu opened the lock, took out the wheel, and secured it. Well, let's take a look at the lanterns first. Ning Zifu clearly didn't want to go down the well. Okay. Gossip, earthly branches, oh I got it, Ning Zifu said after looking at it, running into the room as he spoke. When Li Luntian went up, Ning Zifu happened to take out the photo. What is this? Mo Chi has a sisters. Ning Zifu was surprised. Go ask that old lady. Li Luntian suggested. Oh, that's right. The two of them walked towards the village entrance, where ordinary people couldn't see. Li Guishu was lifted and his eyes were dazed. Well, Li Luntian hasn't noticed yet. Speaking of which, Li Guishu is really light. It's like nothing. Oh. What a sin. Grandma Tang began to ramble when she saw the photo. Li Luntian found an excuse and returned to the car. You come down. Nye Machi's face was full of confusion, as she saw Li Guishu being escorted away. Stop it. Do you want to live? Li Luntian said to himself. Ah. Nye Machi nodded. If you want to live for a while, you can come down with this little ghost and take down the head of the 6 burying bodhisattva, said Li Luntian, putting Li Guishu down. Nye Machi had some doubts, with a hint of fear, and Li Guishu did the same. There's not that much why. Hurry up, and you go back to the countryside. Oh. You're scared. Let's see later. If I'm okay, you can do it, otherwise there's no need. Oh, by the way, remember to flash Ning Zifu after finishing it. He definitely thinks you're your sister now. Li Luntian suddenly understood. He hasn't seen the statue of the 6 burial bodhisattvas yet. Any more mistakes will be over. Nye Machi, although Li Guishu was still puzzled, he agreed. Then we ran together to the temple where the 6 burying bodhisattvas were buried. Li Luntian also returned to the village entrance, and Ning Zifu and Grandma Tang had just finished their conversation. Tiangu, I understand now. It's Nyemoli. Mo Chi's sister's soul has returned. I'll go find her photo now. If I dare to harm Mo Chi, don't be pitiful. Ning Zifu was extremely anxious. As he spoke, he took the photo and went to the village cemetery. When Li Luntian followed him, Ning Zifu returned. I saw my uncle and aunt. Indeed, that's right. Ning Zifu's face was full of confidence, and Li Luntian thought to himself whether he would believe it if he told him the truth at this time. Or did he just finish worshipping the 6 burial bodhisattvas before telling them? Well, let's not say it anymore. It took more than 10 minutes for Ning Zifu to get the photos underground and start worshipping the 6 burial bodhisattvas. However, when he went down the well, he still hesitated. But when he came out, he ran very fast and Li Luntian couldn't keep up. Gold, wood, fire, earth, photos, Where are my photos? Ning Zifu couldn't find the photos anymore. Here, you fell off, Li Luantian said and gave the photo to Ning Zifu. Ning Zifu didn't suspect he was there, so he took a look and put it on. But there was no response. Hey, isn't it useful? Hey, I'll go. Ning Zifu just spoke when she saw the head of the six-burying bodhisattva fall off, and then Nye Moli appeared and disappeared in a flash. Well, the performance was great, but there was no green light. Dudu, Zifu. Ning Zifu's phone rang. Is there a signal? Mochi. Ning Zifu started talking and soon turned back. Li Luantian shook the funeral bell, and Ning Zifu finally realized, Brother Tian, are you not leaving? The matter is over. Oh, I left my things over there, you want to leave? Okay, Ning Zifu continued to walk outside. Of course, the photo is fake. It was Nye Mochi using a cover-up technique, but it's actually that note of paper. As for the real one, in Li Guishu's hands, I don't know how he got it. The statue of the six buried bodhisattvas, doesn't have much Yin and Ming power. It's okay, so I compared it to an oka, but the system prompt is a bit interesting. 6 burying bodhisattvas earth burial avatar statue, find Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com, existing Yin Ming power 0.9, the incarnation of burial left Li Luantian puzzled. However, it is only natural for the statue to have less power in the underworld. It is just a statue, not a true or even an incarnation. Objects cannot store the power of yin and darkness for a long time, as the system has personally stated. I don't want to, let's go back, Li Luantian said to Ergue. Ah. Nye Mochi responded. Li Guishu also responded. We returned to the car together and drove towards the community. On the top floor of the first community in Fulu City, Nye Moli sat down and suddenly opened his eyes. You are still fine, but fortunately, I have prepared the next round for you. He picked up the phone and called the blue-robed Taoist priest. Master, his mother is coming back, ready. I got it. The blue-robed Taoist responded and stood up. Suddenly, his eyes turned black and he paused for a long time. What's wrong with this? Why am I so empty? I need to exercise more when I go back. The blue-robed Taoist didn't care. The little old man's body is too good, I'll go, I can't suck anymore. Vomit, a fist-sized bug occupied the function of the blue-robed Taoist's heart, opening its mouth 5 or 6 times to suck and vomit. What it doesn't know is that the blue-robed Taoist still has a heart in his lower abdomen, and it doesn't know how it was cultivated. Far away, old man Zhang bent down to listen. Hearing that Li Luantian's his mother was coming back, he gave a sigh of relief. It seems that it's okay. I will help them later. Alas. They are both lucky. But that's good. In a dark space, a gloomy monster exclaimed in surprise. Is the burial statue damaged? Well, it's okay, it's not important anyway. I just don't know which bug is so careless. Then he closed his eyes again. Sending off guests. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Li Luantian had just returned to the entrance of the community when he saw Ning Zifu talking to the blue-robed Taoist. He called out when he saw Li Luantian coming. Tian Gu, you finally arrived. I forgot to take my access card. Fortunately, the community is not locked. Tian Gu helped me open it, and Mochi is still waiting for me. Yes, I can't find it either. Li Luantian was about to say yes in the car when he remembered old Zhang's instructions, so he changed his mind. Ah. What should I do? Ning Zifu said without any doubt. The blue-robed Taoist retreated upon seeing the situation. What do you think? Our detective from Ningda. Li Luantian joked with him. Oh my. Brother Tian, stop teasing me, but there really is. Is it that old Zhang is dead? How could I not know? Ning Zifu confidently finished speaking and asked Li Luntian about old Zhang. Oh. Well, I don't know about that either, maybe it was yesterday. After all, we've been representing at the hotel for quite a long time. Maybe, it was discovered by someone else. After all, the gong was quite loud. Haha. Li Luntian managed to deal with it with a previously planned argument. Then I'll take a look and help out with this, Why did you run over there? You also need to help that Taoist find the talisman. Well, go ahead. Go ahead. Li Luntian said. Ning Zifu went to decrypt it. Li Luan entered the tent as soon as he arrived and sat down on the cabinet. Lao Zhang, where are people? Oh my. I'm scared to death, let me tell you. Old Zhang flashed and suddenly appeared. Ah. This is. Old Zhang trembled with fear when he saw Nie Mochi following behind Li Luntian. Don't be nervous, Nie Mochi, Ning Zifu is his wife. Why are you scared, said Li Luntian. Oh, it's not that girl. Oh, no, how did you know? That girl told her master, don't you know? Old Zhang was surprised. Alright, what's the big deal? Zifu doesn't know yet. Come along. Don't tell me, I'll see when Zifu will discover. Li Luntian looked disdainful. Oh. He, indeed, what about this child? Old Zhang noticed Li Guishu again. He. Li Guishu, I. Before Li Luntian could finish speaking, old Zhang interjected. I'll go, Xiaotian. When will you have a child? I won't tell Uncle Zhang. Come, Xiaoshu, give Grandpa a hug. Zhang said as he reached out his hand to Li Guishu, who was not afraid of childbirth, and asked him to hug him. Who said it's my child? Lao Zhang, don't slander me. Li Luntian became anxious. You said it's not true. You look so much like you. Didn't you say it? Although you're not an orphan, you still need to have a certain level of seniority and be named after the return to the late people, shocked 9 marshals in the next few generations, said old Zhang. That's not it. Li Luntian became even more anxious. I picked him up. Alright, I'm not teasing you anymore. Old Zhang teased Li Guishu and said, by the way, did you know that you and Ning Zifu were targeted? They both chased after us. Didn't you say it? I know, Zifu doesn't know yet, oh. Lao Zhang, you also know. Nonsense, they all swaggered and said it, I don't know yet. Old Zhang rolled his eyes. Will you continue with your plan? Li Luntian asked. After all, he still didn't want to bully Ning Zifu. Of course, why not? Let's play by the game and don't let others see it. By the way, I'll teach you a talisman. A fire talisman, a ghost fighting talisman. You can draw a few at home as a backup and see what they have, said old Zhang. Lao Zhang, you still know how to draw symbols. Of course, don't even see who I am. Old Zhang exclaimed arrogantly. But what I thought to myself was, that's all I remember. Don't be caught. Okay. Zifu came in. You guys hide. Li Luntian finished speaking. Ning Zifu came in. Tian Gu, are you chatting with Lao Zhang? I found the password. Hey, what's written in Lao Zhang's last wish is a prompt. Ning Zifu said, let's go back to the house. Good. Li Luntian stood up and followed Ning Zifu into the building. It's just that Ning Zifu didn't see it, and there were 3 ghosts following behind Li Luntian. Entering the hallway, Ning Zifu walked up, but Li Luntian didn't follow. Then he saw Ning Zifu turn around and come back. Well, old Zhang is playing with him. Ning Zifu looked in surprise and continued walking a few more times. What's going on? Ning Zifu said. I don't know. Li Luantian pretended not to know. By the way, there's a spell here. And the elevator is broken. Well, let's go ask the Taoist. Ning Zifu muttered to herself and left. Lao Zhang, you go quickly. Don't follow me for now. Take these two people to the 4th floor to wait for me, and then do whatever you need to do, said Li Luantian. You kid, did you talk like that? Forget it. Old Zhang led Li Guishu and the two of them up. After a while, Ning Zifu returned and took out her phone to take photos. Ouch! Isn't this Lao Zhang? Ning Zifu exclaimed in surprise. It's really like ghosts hitting the wall. Then, thinking of something, he said to Li Luantian, Tian Gu, find Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com. You and Lao Zhang are familiar, talk to him, don't stop me. Ah. Oh. Li Luantian stuttered, Lao Zhang. Is that you? Move away. Zifu, I'm done. I saw old Zhang swaying back and forth on the stairs with a smile. I said Tian Gu, you're not hiding anything from me, are you? Ning Zifu was a bit puzzled. How could it be? Please check if Lao Zhang is still around. Li Luantian quickly found an excuse to avoid, feeling very guilty. Well, let me see, hey, Lao Zhang is still here. Forget it, there's a way out anyway. Ning Zifu didn't continue to ask. Tian Gu, follow me well. You can go home later. You've been working hard these past few days, Ning Zifu said. Then Li Luantian followed Ning Zifu up and down to the 4th floor. I'll go back first, you keep going. If there's anything else, keep calling me and I'll follow you. Li Luantian opened the door and said. Ning Zifu responded. Just keep going upstairs. Li Luantian closed the door and saw Nye Mochi sitting on the sofa in the living room, lost in thought. I didn't care either. Then Li Guishu was called in. Little ghost, come here, Li Luantian said, and Li Guishu came up to him. This is your future home. Remember it, okay, go rest. I might go out later, so don't follow me. Come back and make paper figures for you. Okay. Li Guishu clapped her hands happily. I will be obedient here. Then I continued to play. Li Luantian returned to the room, feeling a bit hungry. Thinking that he hadn't eaten anything for over a day and had to go out later, he took out something to eat. Not to mention, this brand is fragrant, in this world. The original owner's taste is really good, Li Luantian said while eating.